Hello and welcome to episode 22 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough here with the Iron Teeth faction in cycle 39, day 15. Got a drought coming in 2.3 days, and last time we got a bunch of stuff added. Beavers can skydive in the wind tunnel that isn't really a tunnel, or well, I don't know why it's called a wind tunnel, but anyway. The well-being currently is at 38. It could be a whole lot higher if we decided to give the beavers another weekend, which I do think we will do at some point soon. But we have recreational pursuits, we have, wow, we have monuments, we have mud baths, and we have a bunch of stuff further optimized. Still plenty to do, but we're going to do what we can when we can with what we've got, like we always do. We got food up here. We've got, well, I have these paused because we were using too much wood on the planks. But we do have a complete wood processing solution up here. We've got complete 100% balanced metal production over here. So, you know, stuff is going pretty well. But, like I said, there's still plenty to do. And the main goal for today's video, it's probably not going to happen before this drought starts. We're going to go ahead and pause. We have to put in flywheels because we have no mechanism for storing power during a drought, or using power that is stored during a drought. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in. And of course, our favorite thing, the large vertical framed flywheel, is going to be taking center stage here. What I'm going to be doing is just placing this directly in line with what we've got right here, which is these large water wheels. There is another one that has to go here. I haven't fully decided yet whether or not I'm going to have any of these overhangs over the reservoir, but this is step number one, getting at least one of these large vertical frame flywheels in place, and that is going to be quite the ordeal because it's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in a 2x1 overhang right here. The reason for that, of course, being so we can have a power shaft go across here out of the nub into the top of this. Now, there's a couple of different ways to go about setting this up. We could just have stuff down here at the bottom connected, or we could have them stack right on top like this. Of course, I can only fit 3 of them before it becomes a problem. But at the top, we'll have to put this horizontal junction at some point. I might as well just go ahead and unlock this. And of course, I can, you know, just stack these. There's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball, etc. But what that does is that allows us to join things, and it has the plug-in ability for all the power, which these on the side do not, because it is literally a giant spinning rock inside of a frame. But this has magical powers, so we're gonna let them take care of that. But for right now, this literally is just it. So, of course, you take that off, and of course, we still have the impermeable floors here, so it should be no problem whatsoever. I just really want to go ahead and jump straight to that. We also have the medium ones, little baby man right here. Then maybe we'll end up using these at some point. But I really like these large ones because there is, it's not zero, but there's very minimal power loss over time. So it's just going to be one of those things. I know you guys, some of you actually quite like it, but a lot of you get really annoyed when I say it just takes time. Well, that's because it just takes time. It's not just a saying, it's a way of life. It's not a phase, Mom. Anyway, I'm going to completely lose my mind here. We'll go ahead and get them in here, rock and roll and ready to go. We're going to have a problem with getting this thing built if we don't also give them a way to get out on top of it. Now, you might say, oh, this overhang is going to let them do it. Well, no, because they can't get on top of it. But what we can do is take this path out, and we can come in here with the suspension bridge. Actually, we don't need one that long. This guy right here, if they stand on the end, they'll be able to build diagonally. And this is a relatively cheap thing for them to construct. So they're going to take care of that. I'm going to, I guess, make this the most important construction project we're doing. And while we do not have enough treated planks to do this, or metal blocks. We will, at some point, be able to get this done. Just have to get our production up to speed. So that is why I'm going to turn that woodwork shop back on. And then the metal production, we already know, it just is what it is. But we've got some extra beavers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to prioritize all of these smelters by haulers, and we're going to make sure that the haulers are actually capable of doing some hauling. We did add this last time, so we do have 10 here ready to go. And I've got another one of these with 10 in it as well. So that's a thing. I don't think they've... oh, they actually have. Cool. So like I said, treated planks, metal blocks, going to take some time, but it's going to be very, very worth it when it is complete. I think we can be very happy with how that is going to get set up. So I actually just noticed something. I'm going to hit pause on this overhang so they don't actually build it. We have the opportunity here, I think, to be maybe a little bit smarter in how we're going to set this up. Because this, remember, we have these irrigation barriers here. We don't, I don't think, need to have them on this back wall because there's nothing flowing back here. So if I take these away, they actually can't reach this. So what if... There we go. Oh, did that just move them all here? Oh, that's annoying. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is that this would allow us to have 3 right here. And we could connect those all the way across with the large horizontal junctions, and then we could actually just have a single shaft go up into the corner even. And come around the back here if we felt so inclined. None of this matters until this large vertical framed flywheel, say that went 10 times fast, is fully ready to go. It's not going to be before the drought starts, which, whatever, that's just the way it goes. But at some point it will be, and it's going to be glorious. Fortunately, we do have this connection for these, I always forget what these are called, water wheels. I swear my brain is perfectly fine. And we have these engines. Well, that's also not true. So we're going to be able to produce some power during the drought. We're just going to have to be a little bit careful about what it is we're running. Maybe pause a couple things and get stuff situated, but I believe we're going to be in pretty good shape. So bring on the drought. We got 0.2 days left. We also have these things that are in the middle of being constructed as well. But since this is the high priority project, they are going to be sending resources over here, and that is going to end up being the thing they build first. So that should be okay. Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, the more I think we're going to probably want to end up sending the power up in the corner here. So this overhang actually doesn't need to be here. That's why I paused it before it was finished. Because I think we can probably just get rid of this and put it back on a normal, what do you call it? Yep. Scientific term. Totally fine. You know how it goes. So now, pretty much all we can do is just wait for this to get done. I do want to check and see. What are we... Okay, so we're producing about half of what we need. Is there anything else I can pause? I've already turned off a bunch of the lumber mills. Gear situation probably is okay for right now with those two. We obviously need these wood workshops. I'll tell you what we don't need is this wind tunnel taking 400 HP to run. We can get rid of that, at least for right now. Pause that. The number cruncher can also be paused because we have 66,000 science. That's fine. This dirt excavator can also be paused. Everything else that is running is probably going to be pretty important for what we're doing. Of course, keeping food situated, although honestly, our food situation is looking really, really good. I don't think we have any room to complain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and remove this overhang. That was an error in judgment when I decided to put that in. But, you know, we all make mistakes. It's perfectly fine. Right here, though. No, you know what? I think this is going to be okay. I'm going to unpause and put this in. This is still prioritized. So I'm going to end up time-lapsing I don't know if this is going to end up being the entirety of the drought, but we don't really have a ton we can actually accomplish while the power is in its diminished state, so I figured we might as well just go ahead and run through this, let them build what they can build, get stuff finished, and then come back at the end of the drought and see where we are. So by the time I'm done yapping here, we'll hopefully have this whole thing built, or at least the flywheel itself, and be on the process of hooking it up. But I will catch you on the end of the time lapse. All right, welcome to cycle 40, and look what we've got. We have a fully functioning flywheel. 3 Fs. But, very, very slowly here, we should start to see this rotate. Eventually, once this number becomes larger than this number, which is going to take a little bit of time. But what I went ahead and did during this time lapse is I put a horizontal junction on top of it, connected with some power shafts on top of these overhangs, and then put this 6x1 bridge in exactly this spot, because the way that the bridges work for construction would allow them to build everything. Bring it up here, and then put into the water wheel. So we should see very, very shortly, as soon as this water gets high enough to spin the wheels, our power output is going to eclipse the demand, and we'll be able to see this beautiful piece of machinery start turning. I love this mod. This, of course, is from our friend Battery Smooth, who's also a long-time supporter, beard booster on the channel. So thank you very much for supporting us and for giving us some really, really cool stuff to play with. We've been using these flywheels in some form or capacity for the past, oh man, I don't even know, most of the past year, at least. I think, I want to say the very first time I used this was in the Update 4000 Islands playthrough with the Folktales, if I'm remembering correctly. Could have been before that, but I really love these things. So this is cool. It's going to be spinning really, 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 really fast. And as you can see, we're already storing a whole bunch of energy here. And we can add as many more as we want, too, because the horizontal junction just allows us to insert the power shaft. It doesn't mean I can't build anything else on top of this. I can stack a couple more of these if I wanted to, or I could take the smaller ones. Anything can connect to this little hole here or to the side. So it's basically infinitely configurable, which is really, really nice. So this will give us a little bit of insurance. Is one of these going to last the entirety of a drought with what we have going on? Probably not. But we can just keep adding stuff if we want to. So that's really exciting. I'm glad we got that taken care of, because that was going to be a major, major thing for us to deal with today. And of course, there's still more of those we can put in, but for right now, we do have a solution. Let's go ahead, check. I guess I could turn, well, I don't need the number cruncher on at this point, probably for the rest of the playthrough, because we have 66,000 science. But I will turn this wind tunnel back on. And then at some point soon-ish, we should probably turn these back on. But what we've got to do now is we've got to put the rest of our water wheels in. Get everything hooked up, so on and so forth. I mean, there's a bunch of little things to do. And that is just one of them. So this is, looks like ready to go. We'll just get this unpaused. Got one more I can put in here as soon as this double platform's gone away, but we're not really struggling for that at the moment, so we're going to just let this be its own thing. Get that turned on. Cool. So, as you can see, there's still plenty left to do. I'm going to go ahead and unpause these large tanks here because, well, we have a lot that still needs to get done, and we want to make sure we can do it. And there's a bunch of things that we've previously discussed that I'm not going to get into today just because I want to make sure I can dedicate the correct amount of time and planning to them. Chiefly among those, burying the badwater, which is going to require taking most of this out and reconfiguring a little bit. I've decided, and a bunch of you in the comments seem to agree, that the natural overhangs are not to be messed with. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to, in this spot at least, kind of cap it a little bit so we can build on top of it. But we're not going to mess with the overhangs. We're just going to have it come through here. And then right here, we'll blast this out, and then there will be a like a slit for the water to go through. And then I'll probably end up straightening out this flow a little bit just to make it straighter, and then figure out how it's going to get out through here. Maybe a little cleaner. But let's turn our attention to the apartment block. Or, as commenter Selecting Knight has dubbed it, the Big Ugly Blissful Beaver Apartments, otherwise known as B.U.B.B.A. I guess to borrow a little bit of energy from Skystorm and his love for acronyms over on his series, but ours are going to be a little bit more more family friendly here. But yeah, we have the opportunity to enhance this just a little bit with a couple of different ideas that you guys have levied for us here. And the way things are currently set up, I'm not exactly sure that we can do too much of it without a little bit of reconstruction. But there are a couple of pretty good ideas proposed here. One of them being the Tribute to Ingenuity, which we still have to build, and I was asking for some opinions last time about where that could possibly go. At least one person suggested putting the Tribute to Ingenuity kind of in the middle here. But we got to figure out a spot that will, work for it. Because it is a 3x3 thing that has to have a support and has to have power. So, if I'm interpreting comments right, a couple of you said there's places we could put in the middle here. I'm not really sure how that would work with it being a 3x3 and how this is set up. But then, I had an idea. Because, look, we have power right here because we have the wind tunnels. So what if we figured out a way, and this could very well be what you guys were suggesting. If that's the case, then I'm sorry. But if we had, just for the sake of argument, just hit pause here. And then we take our 3x3. Yeah, see, it has to have clearance, so we might have to modify some other stuff. But regardless of getting power into something, in terms of just like finding a place for it to go, because you can't put power up through a metal platform. It's got to come up from some other side. But if I were able to... Yeah, still not going to let me do this. I think there's got to be a certain level of clearance. Aha, right there it is. Above the skydiving. Someplace like right around here-ish to pop that guy in here. We'll go ahead and unlock Tribute to Ingenuity for 12,000 science. So to do this kind of thing... Okay, what? Is that too tall? Oh, no. That's... Oh, it's too tall. We're not going to be able to do it here. That's a shame. Because here I was thinking, wow, what a smart idea. We can, actually do something cool. Well, I'm sorry for having interesting ideas, game. You're not sorry for not letting me do it, but that's, man, that was such a cool idea, too. Well, we could also put it right here. I guess would be fine, depending on how we want to have this situated. Because we do have the ability right here on these barracks to go ahead and bring a power shaft out. And again, if this is exactly what you suggested in the comments, I'm sorry. I'm not really great at translating text into visual imagery or like spatial relation to stuff. It's just how my brain works. I know that some of you are just like, why did you stupid? Like, no, look. It's just how it goes, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I gotta pause this. The rest, they're gonna build it. So 2x1, if I did a 3x3. Yeah, see, like, putting this right here might be a little bit janky for these guys in the rooftop terrace, but check out what we might be able to accomplish here. 3x3, and then the power could go into the back of this. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look here. Take a look here and see if we like what this is about. Oh, look at that! We got a pair of beavers with the clockwork cube thing on their backs here, bearing the weight of our mechanical and industrial sins. But we have a. I think that's kind of cool looking. How about that? We only need to power one of them. So, I don't know about you, but I kind of want to build this. I kind of want to do it exactly like this. Now, will we be able to do that today because it's 600 metal blocks? No. No, we're going to have to save up for it. But I think that is pretty cool looking. Wow. All right. Let's... It's so stupid. Wow. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do one of these numbers here. Ow. Fingers on the wrong buttons. I just put in a single straight power shaft, because remember the barracks conduct, it's not electricity, it's mechanical energy, whatever. The barracks allow power to be transferred, so you know what? It's kind of dumb, but I kind of like it. So I'm not even gonna wait for you guys to give opinions. I'm just gonna do it because I think that's really cool. So hopefully you like that. If you don't, well, that's fine too, but this is what we're gonna do. I like that a lot. How many times am I going to say I like it? Let's check and see. Okay, so the large vertical framed flywheel is completely full, which does mean I can shut off our engines here. Alright, so that's taken care of. Now I've got to decide what I'm doing with all of this space here, because most of this is empty. Yeah, looks like so. You know what? It might be kind of dumb in some of your opinions, but I'm gonna just I'm just gonna start demolishing all this stuff and let them pick it up, because we're gonna have to fill this in to do more growing of crops or trees or something at some point. So why don't we just go ahead and make that process a little bit easier. By getting a head start. This, of course, also can go away. It was never really necessary for us to have all that here. Let's get that gone. Pick up all this stuff off the ground and move on with our lives. Of course, we have plenty of other things to get to. You know, stuff is always going to take some time, but I think... Wait, what's paused under... Oh, that's these engines. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So what we can do, while we're waiting for all of that nonsense to get taken care of, is we can kind of theorize, think about, discuss ways to improve what we've got going on here. Now, this is the outflow from this badwater. I did say it was going to be buried, so why don't we go ahead. See, that is already the bottom of the map, so that's good. We'll go ahead and blast that down, because that's going to be the start of our badwater buried canal, I guess, if we... want to call it that. Don't look up that acronym. We've got this wind tunnel just about finished, and this one shouldn't be too far behind. And by that I mean it actually has nothing going on it. But I think we're in a great spot, friends. And we've made some fantastic progress. I kind of want to make another one of these, but I don't know that we're going to need it. What was our actual demand? 5,400. So that's every 3 days. It would be 15. Oh, okay. No, this is going to be more than we're ever going to need. Until we start, you know, using a whole lot more power. Which, yeah, I guess our actual demand is probably going to be closer to 7,000 or 8,000 per day by the time everything we currently have under construction is finished. I think. Wow, that's still going to be fine. The longest possible drought we have in normal mode is 9 days, so we should be well equipped. Although I really just want to build a whole bunch of these just because we can. And I think it's really cool. We don't need to, though. What we do need to do is turn these industrial lumber mills back on, because now we finally started to run through all of our planks. I've got my explosives here. So, yeah, in the interest of things, you know, looking nice, if I just have that taken care of, we need to be prepared to separate out all of our badwater stuff. So I think, unless we wanted to have everything with an air gap with levees, we're just going to have to start putting irrigation barriers in around what we're working with here. And if that's going to be coming out this way, which it actually doesn't have to. Remember that when this is done, I'm not planning on having these water wheels here. This is all going to be completely gone. And I would like to have a relatively straight canal here. But if I think a 4 wide probably is honestly going to be too much. Do I want to do 3? Do I want to do 3? I guess it doesn't matter if we're not going to have water wheels in there. So, oh, I know this is going to irritate some folks. I'm going to actually just start blowing this up. Just capture this, because I'd like to have extra space on this side that we could actually grow some stuff on and have enough space to realize all that. So if we did that here, then this would just have to be irrigation barriered all the way along the side here, and then this could actually start getting filled in. On this side, that's always an option. This is 2 wide. What is TWO wide as well as TOO wide for what we're working with here. So that's going to end up going right there. So this will get blasted out. If we only do 3 wide, honestly, I think it could be 2 because it's going to be layered. As long as we have that that little keyed bit right here, it won't back up. So maybe it does need to be 3. Yeah, you know, we'll leave it 3 wide. We'll leave it 3 wide. So we'll just have them start coming in like that, and then take care of that like so. But this space right here does have this little jog here, which is, well, it is what it is. And I said we're going to keep this the way that it was. I guess I can't be too upset about it. I'm going to go ahead and put irrigation barriers down to this side, because then I can get rid of these most likely, hopefully, because it doesn't want to play nice with the path if I have all this connected in here. Remember when I said we weren't going to do this today and then I started doing it anyway? Yeah, me too. So let's see. They're working on that. They've already started. Oh, we're going to run out of gears really quick. We're going to have to build some more of these. And I wasn't quite sure how we were going to handle all of this. And I remember thinking to myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with this? Because I could very easily just do something like this. I could also just turn around and put this guy here, which I think probably is going to have to be what we end up doing. Just something like this. Put another 3 in. That might be enough for right now. Get these guys making some more gears, because you know we're going to use them. Alright, double dynamite that mess. So it's interesting that this is still all contaminated. I'm assuming it's because this right here doesn't have a irrigation barrier on it. It seems to me that the badwater is very powerful in terms of how it can contaminate land on the same level or close enough to it, whereas like right here this isn't affected at all, because I guess it's a high enough deal. Well, you know, we're here to learn. That's the way it goes. So they're going to take care of that. I can't get rid of this quite yet because we do have to have the explosives factories and all that stuff. Which I guess leads me to my next thing we got to talk about is how are we going to get badwater out of this if we're burying all of it? Well, that's where these guys come in. These deep badwater pumps. When we reconfigure this area, we're going to have a specific place for those guys to go. And given how this is set up right now, I think there's going to be a way for me to do this without having it mixed. Because right now, this is only 67% productive. This one is, maybe this one's slightly different. Okay, this one's closer to 90%, but you can see here, this is not completely bad water. It has some good in it because this is the mixed output. But if we want to, without taking up too much of our space here, have very efficient badwater pumps, they're going to have to be up here in this general area. And this is probably the best possible place for us to put them. But we just have to be sure of what we're putting where before we do it. I'm going to go ahead and let's get rid of this builder's hut. And I want to play with some placements here. So this will fit right here, which is great. But I've got to be able to put 2 of these in, which means I need to either have extra land here or I need to put overhangs in. But we have so much dirt or we will have so much dirt after I unpause this, that I think we might as well just go ahead and terraform right here and make this bit a little bit bigger. Just a touch. So if we did that, then that would give me here and here for badwater pumps. And I know this isn't like an ideal spot for whatever to go, but that would make possible for us to just have this completely buried all the way to the edge of the map, which would help us massively in terms of avoiding contamination. But the only bad thing about that is the space down here is still going to be contaminated, because I guess badwater contamination can always go down, but it has a hard time going up. I guess that makes sense when you consider how like water flow and drainage and engineering of sewers and sanitary septic and all that stuff actually work in real life. But for our purposes in the game, it's still very annoying because we have to figure out how we're going to keep other areas from getting contaminated. So I think long term, this land here is actually going to have to be raised at least 1, maybe 2 in some places, to be at like a minimum height of maybe right here. I might even have to go 1 higher than that. If we made it level with this bit, then, well, first of all, that's a ton of dirt for us to get out of the ground. It's going to take a super long time, but it might actually be worth trying, worth experimenting with. But you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it takes time, and that's true because it does. It's going to be a very, very long process. But hey, I mean, I've got time. You got time? If you're watching these videos, I guess you do. So we'll have to keep that in mind and think about different things that we want to do as we work on burying our badwater canal. So yeah, like I don't think it's going to be exactly like the design that Steve suggested or that some of you suggested, but we can take the best elements from that and other stuff that we've come across along the way, and I think we can still make something pretty cool. So I guess that's the thought exercise we can carry through the weekend, and then in Monday's video, dive in head first, because again, all of this stuff just takes time. I'm going to go ahead and take the suspension bridge out, so that's not being ugly somewhere. Take a look at this. Look at this. We're making almost 22,000 HP. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And this metal platform, of course, is deprioritized, so they can start building other stuff, like we have these tributes to ingenuity right here. Treated planks. This one's actually pretty much just waiting on metal blocks, and then the rest of these gears that we're already working on are bringing in here. I think 5 of these probably isn't going to be quite enough, but it's better than having 2. So I'm going to leave it today right here. I know it's still a little bit of a shorter episode, but I think we're in a really good position to take stock of what we're trying to do with this badwater canal thing and any other planting, growing, harvesting, whatever goals, and make that our priority for theory crafting for what we're going to do next. I know there's still a couple things I said we're going to do that we haven't gotten done yet. I have not forgotten about it. Putting in, like, for example, a ladder to come up here and figuring out how this is all going to be connected. I haven't forgotten about it. We just haven't done it yet, so don't worry. That will be taken care of at some point in time, just not at this exact moment, because I think I'd rather put the metal into making the tributes to ingenuity right there. But yeah, I appreciate you guys bearing with me with this playthrough, suggesting some really cool new ideas, and just thinking of ways that we can utilize the new stuff that Update 6 has brought us in ways that I haven't done before. And there's tons of people playing this game on YouTube, and a lot of them are a whole lot better at it than I am. But I'm thankful that you choose to watch these videos and give me some ideas, and just have been such a fantastic community. I'm really thankful for you, Beard Boosters, as well, for all of your support, directly making it possible for me to prioritize YouTube to the degree that I currently do, and hope to continue doing in the future. You've really made a huge positive impact in my life, and let me do a whole lot of really cool stuff. So I appreciate you guys. We'll be back in this series on Monday. We got water beavers coming back again tomorrow, and hopefully, barring some sort of cataclysmic disaster, Roller Coaster Tycoon finally again on Sunday. We're very close to the end of the original game's scenarios there. Of course, we have every scenario they've ever made in Open RCT 2, but still a cool milestone nonetheless. And next week, got something interesting that you guys might, well, some of you at least, might be excited about. So we'll see you then. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.